So, hello everyone and welcome to Wise IAS. In today's continuation series of disaster management, we are going to discuss about leadership initiatives by India, some of the agreements and some of the institutions of which India is somewhere a part. So, starting with the brief reminder and introduction, you all are aware about it. So, coming back to the very first subtopic of today's lecture, it is about leadership initiatives. So, if we talk about leadership initiatives, the government of India on you can say 28th of August 2019 approved the establishment of International Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure CDRI Coalition on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure as a society. So, along with the supporting secretarial office in New Delhi at an outlay of rupees 480 crores, या फिर आप बोलो कि $70 मिलियन 70 मिलियन यूएस डॉलर्स के रूप में for a corpus required to fund technical assistance and research project on an ongoing basis over a period of 5 years from the date of establishment itself, right? From 2019, 2020 to 2023, 2024. The Prime Minister CDRI Prime Minister ने अनाउंस किया at the United Nations Climate Action Summit at New York City on 23rd of September 2019. The dates here are not mandatory, but you have to just keep in mind the year of these establishments and initiatives. Memorandum of Association and bylaws for establishing the Secretariat of CDRI as a CDRI Society have been finalized on 3 February 2020. CDRI Society has been then registered. Now, coming to the aims and objectives of CDRI. Before moving forward, we will see the aims and objectives of CDRI. The CDRI Society is being established to fulfill many of the aims, you can say, to firstly to act as a global partnership on you can say national governments के बीच में एक पार्टनरशिप के तरीके से एक्ट करना, यूएन एजेंसीज जो हैं उनके साथ में, या यूएन के जो प्रोग्राम्स हैं, या मल्टीलेटरल डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स जो हैं, एंड फाइनेंसिंग मैकेनिज्म्स जो हैं, प्राइवेट सेक्टर जो है, एकेडमिक एंड नॉलेज इंस्टीट्यूशंस जितने भी हैं, that aims to promote the resilience of infrastructure systems to climate and disaster risks जो उसके लिए बनाए जाते हैं, thereby ensuring sustainable development at the same time. Now coming to the second objective or second aim, you can say, it is here to support the countries including India to upgrade their systems to ensure disaster and climate resilience of existing and future infrastructure through its programs. While aligning with the sustainable development, you can say the sustainable development goals, the Paris Climate Agreement, and the you can say Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, we have discussed earlier, to provide a global mechanism for financing and coordination of the effective implementation of the aims of the coalition for disaster resilient infrastructure. So, the next one we can say is to act in accordance with the Charter of CDRI, ensuring that the principles which led to the coalition formation and the spirit and value core of its operations and respected and embodied within it. Next objective, we can say the society is being established to act as a legal entity, again, I'll repeat, of the global coalition for disaster resilient infrastructure. The society shall continue to act as the coalition till the formation of a formal international secretariat at New Delhi. If required, the society may be restructured to fulfill the aims of CDRI with the approval of the governing council. So, the next objective we can see here is the society will work to rapidly expand and in the development of the you can say resilient work of infrastructure to respond to sustainable development goals, imperatives of expanding and universal access to basic services, enabling prosperity and good quality of work. This will need to be implemented simultaneously with the, you can say, accelerated and expanded climate action and disaster risk reduction from the local as well as the national to regional or global scales. CDRI hosted a consultation meeting with selected member countries and the partners organizations on the proposed work program of CDRI for the first 3 years on 23rd and 24th of January 2020. Representatives from the three member countries and 10 organizations participated and gave their inputs on the work program. The work program will be adopted at the first meeting of the Governing Council of CDRI. First meeting of the Governing Council of CDRI was held on 20th of March 2020 and was chaired by Dr. P.K. Mishra on behalf of the Government of India. United Kingdom has been nominated as the co-chair of the CDRI for the first 2 years. Now, coming to which of the countries joined the charter of CDRI, has been shared with 37 countries, including G20 and non G20 nations. So, for 18 countries and three international organizations conveyed their intention to become a member of CDRI, most of the countries have also indicated that they are considering the proposal positively and will revert on it shortly. The first meeting of the Executive Committee of CDRI was held in 29th of June 2020. Mr. Kamal Kishore, member NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, and Sir Philip Burton, KCMG OBE, of the British High Commissioner in India, were nominated as the two chairs of the Executive Committee of CDRI for the first 2 years period. So the committee approved the three planned projects in power, airport, and health infrastructure. In 2017, India got SCO full membership, and Honorable Prime Minister attended its annual Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit meeting and that was held in Astana in June 2017. Government of India organized a joint urban earthquake search and rescue exercise of Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states to improve the collected preparedness from 4 to 7 November 2019 in New Delhi. All the member states of SCO, that we are saying the China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and participated in this exercise. Mongolia participated as the observer in addition. Representatives from INSA, RAG, UNDP, UNICEF, UNICEF, WHO, SDRF also participated. The exercise provides an opportunity to enhance the coordination and cooperation involving multi agency operations in an earthquake of large magnitudes. 10th SCO meeting of the heads of department of member states of Shanghai Cooperation Organization dealing with the prevention and elimination of emergency situations was held in New Delhi on 8th of November 2019. The event was then chaired by the Union Minister of Home Affairs of India, Shri Amit Shahji Motabai. The parties approved the action plan to implement the Intergovernmental SCO Agreement on Emergency Relief Cooperation, which was held in 2020-2021. The action plan was to contribute to stepping up joint efforts in dealing for the prevention and elimination of emergency situations among the SCO member states. Following the meeting, heads of departments of prevention and elimination of emergency situation of the SCO member states signed a protocol. Parties agreed on the need to step up. They agreed to they are having a common need to step up their joint efforts to strengthen the cooperation and to provide assistance in the field of prevention of emergency situation and to provide assistance. The virtual meeting of international cooperation and rescue among departments of member states of Shanghai Cooperation Organization dealing with the prevention and elimination of emergency situation hosted by China was held in December 3rd, 2020. This meeting was attended by SCO member states including India. So the next level, here we are having the details for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Here, the virtual meeting was attended, I already said. During the meeting, all the parties agreed to strengthen the experience sharing in prevention of the COVID-19 pandemic also, and the prevention, mitigation, and relief of major natural disasters among emergency management and departments provide cooperation in the emergency management under the framework of the SCO. Now coming to the cooperation with the BRICS countries. Now here we can say MHA, Mental Health Authority, and National Disaster Management Authority hosted the meeting of BRICS members in the disaster management in 2022, 2023. It's 22 and 23 of August 2016 in Udaipur, Rajasthan. Due to India's initiative, Udaipur Declaration agreed setting up of JTF on disaster risk management. It was a joint task force for regular dialogue, exchange, and mutual support and collaboration among the BRICS countries. The meeting discussed the advances in technology and knowledge sharing amongst the member countries to enable them to leverage or to reduce the disaster risk. NDMA has had attended the meeting of BRICS Minister for Disaster Management and Joint Task Force held in East London, South Africa from 9/6/18 to 10th of July 2018, hosted by South Africa. Meeting of BRICS Joint Task Force on the Disaster Management organized by Russian side held on 31st of July 2020 via a virtual platform from India. NDMA and IMD had attended the meeting and following issues were discussed. Issue of using modern technologies as a man as a main tool for preventing the forecasting evolution and of emergencies. Issue of organization of communication and interaction of fire and rescue units. During the pendency period with India in 2021, India proposes to organize a meeting in the BRICS Minister for Disaster Management and BRICS expert level workshop on disaster management in third quarter of 2021. Now, India-Japan workshop on disaster risk reduction. We can say the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, had organized the first India-Japan workshop on disaster risk reduction. Here we are discussing the leadership. When India is leading everywhere, right? So the initiatives of India or the leadership of India. 19th and 20th of March 2018 at Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi. The workshop was attended by 150 domain experts from Japan and India. The two-day workshop was the follow-up of a memorandum of cooperation (MOC) signed between the Government of India and the Government of Japan on cooperation in the field of disaster management, which was signed during the visit of Prime Minister of Japan, Mr. Shinzo Abe, in India in 2017. The workshop deliberated on various themes, that is, disaster management, policy framework, risk assessment, disaster resilient infrastructure, early warning system, preparedness by sub-national governments, and approaches by the private sector. Then next is the second India-Japan workshop on disaster risk reduction was held back to back with the National Conference for Promoting Disaster Risk Reduction NCPDRR from 13th and 15th to 15th of October 2018 in Tokyo, Japan. The theme of the workshop was preparing for large scale disaster, strengthening a network of collaboration of community. Ministry of Home Affairs has successfully organized the third Indo-Japan workshop on disaster risk reduction on 18th of March 2019 at Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi. The workshop was attended by about 140 delegates from Japan and India, including experts from both the government's top premium research institutes, city administrators, specialized disaster management agencies, and private sector. The objective of the workshop was enhancing collaboration between research institutions, cities, and the private sector in the field of disaster risk reduction. Now, the another is international workshop on disaster resilient infrastructure. The Honorable Prime Minister, in his 10-point agenda on disaster risk reduction during the AMCDRR 2016, proposed to set up a coalition on disaster resilient infrastructure among the partner countries. A task force set up under the chairmanship of Secretary East Ministry of External Affairs on 18th of August 2017 to prepare a plan for the establishment of CDRI task force submitted its report in May 2018. Two international workshops on disaster resilient infrastructure have been organized on 15 to 16th of January 2018 and 19th to 20th of March 2019 at New Delhi. Second workshop IWDRI was held on 1920 March or 2019 at New Delhi. More than 200 delegates, including experts from 33 countries, multilateral development banks, the United Nations, the private sector, academic and national representatives of the central government and the state governments attended the event, deliberated, held on best global practices prevailing in the resilient infrastructure, key challenges and gaps in existing practices were discussed, potential areas for the collaborations were also discussed. As announced in the union budget, a proposal of 60 crores for different activities for setting up of CDRI has been approved. A personal deposit account for setting up of a CDRI has been opened in NDMA and rupees 12.1660 crores for CDRI has been transferred to PD account. NDMA is preparing a blueprint on the structure, yet schedule and funding pattern for the CDRI. Then next year come first joint disaster management exercise for BMSTEC countries 2017. The government of the Republic of India hosted the annual disaster management exercise for Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral, technical and economical cooperation BIMSTEC ऐसे हम कहते हैं countries BIMSTEC countries DME X 2017 on 10 to 13th of October 2017 in New Delhi and the National Capital Region NCR. BIMSTEC DME X 2017 provided a very good platform for sharing best practices and experience to all the members. So, to all the member countries, including the response teams, during the simulation exercise, various components that are tabletop exercise, field training exercise, and after action review facilitates and demonstrating the important aspects of disaster risk reduction, strengthening the regional response and coordination for effective disaster management among the BIMSTEC member countries. About 200 disaster professionals from all 7 BIMSTEC countries participated for the first time in the tabletop and field exercises. Then next is your first Asian. ये बेसिकली हम जो बात कर रहे हैं इन सभी में हमें इंडिया के प्रोस्पेक्ट से लीडरशिप इन ऑफ इंडिया के प्रोस्पेक्ट से हमने डिस्कस करना है. देन नेक्स्ट इज योर फर्स्ट इंडिया first Asian Ministerial Conference for Disaster Risk Reduction 2016 after the adoption of SF DRR, the Government of India, in collaboration with the United Nations International Strategy for Disaster Reduction, UNISDR, hosted the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, AMCDRR 2016 in New Delhi from 3 to 5 November 2016. Delegations from 41 Asia and Asia Pacific countries participated in the conference. Besides, few countries were represented through their respective ambassadors or embassies stationed in New Delhi. In addition, representatives of the UN agencies, NGOs, and other local stakeholders like union ministers, deputy chief ministers, ministers of the states, UTs, and secretaries of the union ministries, chief secretary, director general of police, relief commissioners, secretaries of the states and UTs, member of the district disaster management authority, senior functionaries of the Zilla Parishads, municipal corporations, and municipal councils, and experts in the field of disaster management, or all were also the members who attended the conference. The theme of AMCDRR 2016 was risk sensitive development for community resilience. The conference had six technical sessions, three featured events, three ministerial sessions, and 22 were the thematic events. On various cross-cutting and impending issues such as strengthening the community resilience, risk resilient critical infrastructure, implementing the health aspects of the Sindel framework, promoting educational continuity and resilience of the children and communities, disaster risk identification and financing solutions. The conference conducted with the political declaration reaffirming the government and stakeholders' commitment to the disaster risk reduction and adoption of Asia Regional Plan for implementation of Sindel framework for disaster risk reduction. Then the next is your cooperation with the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. The Government of India and the United Nations Office for the Disaster Risk Reduction signed a standard signed signed a statement of cooperation in November 2016 during the second day of AMCDRR 2016 at New Delhi. The statement then underlined the guiding principles, objectives, and the areas of cooperation between India and the UNDRR towards the effective implementation and monitoring of the Sendai framework on disaster risk reduction, which was adopted at the Third World Conference on DRR at Sendai in Japan on March 2015. India partnered with the UNDRR to work towards strengthening the capacity of the Asian countries and ensuring risk resilient development. It will also facilitate the sharing of knowledge and experience and collaborative efforts towards addressing critical regional challenges. Two, the cooperation aims to ensure effective implementation and monitoring of the Sendai framework through training and capacity building for Asian countries, promoting international and regional cooperation to reinforce the political commitment, facilitate knowledge sharing, and strengthen the capacity of UNDRR for monitoring and review of the Sendai framework. So the statement was officially signed by Shri Bipin Malik, Additional Secretary to the Government of India, and Mr. Robert Glasser, Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for the Disaster Risk Reduction. So the next one is meeting of the BRICS Minister for the Disaster Management 2016. The meeting of the BRICS Minister for Disaster Management was held in 22nd to 23rd of August 2016 in Udaipur, Rajasthan. हमने पहले भी देखा है. The Udaipur Declaration agreed for setting up of a joint task force on the disaster risk management for regular dialogue, exchange, and mutual support. And mutual support on the collaboration among the BRICS countries. The joint task force is expected to initiate actions to initiate the actions as agreed on the roadmap for the implementation of the joint action plan signed by the BRICS countries at Udaipur meeting. Then next is the first disaster management exercise with SAARC countries. So the government of India here organized the South Asian annual disaster management exercise SAARC from 20 SAARC mix from 23 to 26th of November 2015 in New Delhi. The main objective was to synchronize the efforts to institutionalize the regional cooperation on disaster response among the SAARC member countries, SAARC. All the SAARC member countries participated in the first ever joint exercise conducted by the National Disaster Response Force NDRF of India. So the focus was to test the intergovernmental coordination and create synergy among the to synchronize the efforts of and to institutionalize the regional cooperation on disaster management response among the member countries of SAARC region. So it was followed by SAARC regional workshop on sharing best practice and to deliberate upon the outcomes of SDMAs 2015 on 27 November 2015. So these were all the principles or all the areas where India was in leadership. Again, we'll have a short revision. There was a Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure Society. So it was registered as a society as well. We discussed. So the government of India here in the year 2019 approved the establishment. So again, we are going to Shanghai Corporation Organization in detail. We read it was in relation to 2017. So again, the cooperation with the BRICS countries, the cooperation was among the BRICS countries as the ministers for the disaster management, and it was in the year 2016 in Udaipur, Rajasthan. Now, in the BRICS, you have just to remember there was a joint task force. So, India Japan workshop on disaster risk reduction. In this 150 domain experts from Japan and India were the members. It was in the year 2018. Then next is International Workshop on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. The Honorable PM of India here 10 point एजेंडा का ये पार्ट था, उस अकॉर्डिंग इसको देखा गया. फर्स्ट जॉइंट डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्सरसाइज फॉर बिम्स्टिक कंट्रीज ये 2017 में हुआ. देन आफ्टर फर्स्ट एशियन मिनिस्ट्रियल कॉन्फ्रेंस फॉर डिजास्टर रिस्क रिडक्शन 2016 में हुआ. आफ्टर द अडॉप्शन ऑफ FDRR हुआ था ये कोऑपरेशन विद द UN. ये हमारा कोऑपरेशन विद द UNIDSR, ये आपको मालूम 2016 का पार्ट है ये भी. देन नेक्स्ट इज मीटिंग ऑफ द ब्रिक्स मेंबर्स फॉर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट 2016 में हुआ था. Then the last was first disaster management exercise with SAARC countries ये 2016 में हुआ था। इसमें बहुत सारे कंट्री, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया वाज द ऑर्गेनाइजर ऑफ फॉर दिस साउथ एशियन एनुअल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्सरसाइज। ये 25 और 23 से 26 नवंबर 2015 में हुई थी, न्यू दिल्ली में हुआ था। मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव इनका था सिंक्रनाइज करना सारे इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे इस सबके एफर्ट्स को। तो अब हम मूव करते हैं अगले पार्ट पे। ये है पार्टनरशिप विद द इंटरनेशनल एजेंसीज। सो पार्टनरशिप की अगर बात करें, व्हाट इज पार्टनरशिप? पार्टनरशिप कोई दो वर्गों का आपस में मिला जुला एफर्ट है। आपकी स्क्रीन पे मैंने अभी कुछ पॉइंटर्स बनाए हैं। इस पूरे टॉपिक में हम इस पॉइंटर को डिस्कस करेंगे। इस पूरे के पूरे टॉपिक को हम एक ही स्लाइड में डिस्कस कर डालेंगे। इट्स वेरी सिंपल, वेरी इजी। यू कैन जस्ट पॉज द वीडियो एंड नोट इट डाउन, राइट? सो आई होप कि आपने अभी तक नोट कर लिया होगा। और बेसिकली मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप इसे डिस्कस करने से पहले खुद के पास नोट डाउन कर लें, क्योंकि जब हम डिस्कस करेंगे इट विल बी वेरी इजी फॉर यू टू गेट इनटू ऑल ऑफ दीज टॉपिक्स इजीली। पार्टनरशिप्स की हमने बात करी। पार्टनरशिप होता क्या है? बेसिक मीनिंग ऑफ पार्टनरशिप इज टू engage with one another for some specific purpose. So this partnership we are talking about in this topic is about the disaster management. So we are having partnerships with many of the international agencies, not only with the government of any country, but when many of the international agencies. So while having partnership with the international agencies, we are dealing or we are going through the topic of disaster management. It started in December 1999. 1999 दिसंबर में यूके जनरल असेंबली का एक रेजोल्यूशन हुआ that created the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNDRR। यूनाइटेड नेशंस की असेंबली में, यूके जनरल असेंबली में एक रेजोल्यूशन पास हुआ दैट क्रिएटेड द ऑफिस of National Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNDRR, as the successor of the Secretariat of the International Decade for Natural Disaster Risk Reduction in 2001. This assembly the assembly resolution mandated the Secretariat to serve as the focal point in the United Nations system for the coordination of disaster reduction and to ensure the synergies among the disaster reduction activities of the United Nations system and regional organization and activities in the socio-economic and humanitarian field. So the government of India had contributed US dollars of about 1 million in November 2016 in the sideline of the Asian Ministerial Conference for the Disaster Risk Reduction and signed a statement for the cooperation to promote the regional capacity building for the Asia Pacific region in the field of disaster risk reduction. So the UNDRR here has established the following mechanisms or vehicles to achieve the objectives. So the UNDRR has established the three mechanisms by which the main objective or the main goal could be achieved. Here, the objectives are the World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, WCDRR. The next is Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction, and the yet another is Asian Ministerial Conference for Disaster Risk Reduction. We will discuss all of them in quite detail too. Let us first discuss the yet another program, that is United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination. Under this, the United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination is a stand by term of disaster management professionals. So, under this, we are going to look upon the international search and uh, here the United Nations Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs was the main heading, and under this we are going to discuss the United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination. And yet another is International Search and Rescue Advisory Group. Only two. Next, the Global Facility for Disaster Reduction and Recovery. Then the SARC Disaster Management. Next is the SARC Disaster Management Center. Then next is Asian Disaster Reduction Center. Then yet another is Asian Disaster Preparedness Center. Then next is ASEAN Regional Forum. So total seven subheadings or seven main headings we are having, and accordingly we are going to discuss all of them in ample detail. Basically, these agencies are some international agencies, and India is a partner with these agencies in order to act and in order to work with these agencies in order to get the objectives fulfilled or done. So the partnership is hereby like two persons are acting equally. When two persons are acting equally, they are doing this for same purpose or the same objective. The partnership, the principle of partnership is one may act for the benefit only. One may participate for benefit only. He may be the beneficiary only. In some of them, India is beneficiary only. Although India is not contributing much, but India is a partner for benefits only. Again, here we will discuss in detail in the next lecture all of them. So, I hope all of you are ready with a blueprint of these headings. So, in the next lecture, we will discuss all of them in detail, and please make a short नोट और नोट मेकिंग साथ साथ में कीजिएगा ताकि आपको इन सारों पे क्लैरिटी सही से रहे और आपके रिवीजन में हेल्प आउट करे. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.